It was Wednesday, March 13th, day 2 of trials in this final season of an 8-year rebuild project.
Burnout.
On the previous day, they did a slow fire up and then did some limited running on the main line. And for today, the plan is to light the fire, bring steam up in about 3 hours, and then do a few more runs on the main line. For some context on this project, I've included a 3-minute history and rebuild summary at the end of this video. I took lots of photographs, and those photos are in a Flickr album, and I've included a link to that in the video description. Most of the rebuild project has taken place here in the shed on the upper grounds of the BC Forest Discovery Centre. And of course, there was a lot of work done off-site as well. The blue water tank affixed to the front of the locomotive is just temporary. In case they need to cool something down, it's good to have a water source handy. The safety meeting was important to ensure that everyone was on the same page. There were a lot of people around the locomotive, each with a different set of tasks to do in the morning.
5 inches of fuel. That's all we used yesterday.
5 inches of this huge tank.
Of the top of the big tank, yeah.
Okay, so let's give it 1-inch
Okay. You want me to do that right now? I can do that like whenever on a day that we're not running. Calculate the dimensions of whatever.
Yeah, but record today how many inches we use.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna write all this stuff down with the fuel. I'm just getting some baselines for this morning, and then I'm gonna start filling the water right up.
Well, tomorrow she won't be running.
Oh,
Today.
yeah.
So hopefully, I see cross.
Yeah, there's frost there. I looked at the stick and
At this point, the fire is burning and an external air compressor is plugged in.
drain.
Take it till it disappears. It takes a while to settle out, so I don't want to put too much in. So I need to come back on the Probably not more than that. Okay, so we'll put about the same in. Yeah, it should do it. Well, I guess, yeah, it should do it. Okay. We don't know. The blower's on. Okay. They're all tight here.
One of them will still loose though.
Okay, I can rock them by hand.
Yeah.
But when you do that, of course, this one's on bottom dead center, so it probably won't do us any good.
We want to snug those up a little bit.
So up on the top, between the cab and the whistle, is the dynamo, and the exhaust for the dynamo produces the electricity for the house of the locomotive.
One up there, Brian? Pull that one over top of out there and see what's going on with that. Talking to Peter, sorry. What's going on, Brian? Want it pointing up or down? No.
This is also a good time to point out that the whistle currently installed is likely not the permanent whistle.
Is that something thinner?
I'm wondering too, so I will not do this
Is this blower open?
It'll take a long time for that line to do the water. I'll tell you what, I'll open that quite a bit. See any water that can go through this?
Yeah, but someone swamped those too. I might have.
air compressor's just turning on now if you want to film it.
right now.
And here's a sneak peek at the start of my next video. The Hillcrest Number 1 is a steam locomotive built to the patented design of Ephraim Shay by Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio, USA. This locomotive is a 24-ton Class-B model Shay. That means 3 cylinders and 2 trucks, and its actual present-era weight is around 28 tons. This Shay was built by Lima in 1920 as a narrow-gauge, oil-burning stock model. She was construction number 3147. Hillcrest Lumber Company on Vancouver Island was looking for a new standard gauge small locomotive, and they ordered this one, pending a conversion at the Ohio factory to standard gauge and wood burning. She was delivered to Hillcrest Lumber on Vancouver Island in early 1921, and she worked for Hillcrest Lumber and then for McNeil and Munn, both in the Sahtlam area of the Cowichan Valley. She eventually ended up for resale at Mayo Lumber in 1943. She was sold to the Osborne Bay Wharf Company and worked a forest industry deep-sea wharf at Crofton from 1947 to 1963. She then went to Hillcrest Lumber at Massachi Lake for the purpose of conversion back to narrow gauge and oil burning in preparation for its donation to the newly formed Cowichan Valley Forest Museum for its narrow gauge Cowichan Valley Railway visitor train. The Forest Museum opened to the public in May 1965. The Hillcrest Number 1 was one of the steam locomotives that regularly pulled a visitor train at the Forest Museum, and it did this from the late 1960s until the late 1990s. By the way, the Forest Museum is now known as the BC Forest Discovery Centre, and the Hillcrest Number 1 is the locomotive that appears on the center's logo. After this locomotive's most recent working era ended in 1998, there followed a period of display and storage pending an eventual rebuild. That rebuild project commenced in 2016 and was completed in 2024, with many challenges met by the tenacity and generosity of volunteers, donors, and sponsor suppliers. I was a latecomer in documenting this project, starting with glimpses of various pieces outside the lower shed in 2021. Over the next 3 years, I saw more and more of the project, including various unpowered moves, and then eventually with the Shay under steam doing trials on the main line.